You need to hustle, crush it, and go big.
Those all kind of sound like the same thing.
They're not. Hustle is to crush it.
Wasn't crush it the second thing?
No, that was go big.
Then the third thing was...
Crush it.
Crush it. See, this is... Now you're speaking my language.
Let me guess. You fall into one of two camps. Camp 1. You hate hustle culture. You think that it's toxic. You think that it's so unhealthy. You think that they're headed for a burnout. And it's not even about working hard. It's about working smart. You think those people are dumb. And camp number 2, you love hustle culture. You put in those long hours, you grind, you hustle, you get things done. You love knowing that you're doing the things that other people aren't willing to do. You're putting yourself through sacrifice in order to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Nobody built success on 40-hour work weeks, right? I've been in both of those camps and I've come to the conclusion that actually both of those camps are wrong. And that takes us to the long, windy, and unexplored journey of hustle culture. Now, there are actually 3 phases that all of your favorite entrepreneurs have ever been on. Phase 1 is work. There was an ancient Greek called Archimedes, and he had this quote that says, if you put me in the right place, I'll be able to move the world. And he wasn't a philosopher, he wasn't a magician, he wasn't a lunatic, he meant this in the practical sense. He was a mathematician, and what he's talking about here is leverage. Without leverage, good luck trying to move a mass as large as the earth. But with leverage, it's possible. Life and business are about leverage. And when you're starting off, you don't have many things to leverage. The only main asset that you have is your time. So you've got to use your time in a way to create leverage. It's all about doing things that get results and doing things in a short period of time that generate massive results. That's simply what leverage is. And I did a lot of things beforehand, but when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't just start a YouTube channel. I started simplestoicism.com. I started trying to grow that using SEO and writing blog posts. I started to try to grow a Twitter following and an Instagram following, as well as all of this YouTube stuff. I just did a lot of things. Imagine you've got a car. I turned on the ignition and I started moving forwards. That's the first step. Oh, and by the way, I probably don't say this enough, but if you want help doing that, you want help just getting started, that's why we created timetheory.com, how to stop procrastinating and use your time wisely. But anyway, along the path, I went in both camps. I worked super hard. I worked 16-hour days. I didn't take a day off. I didn't go on holiday. I didn't do anything but work. I just tried a lot of different things. And I was also in the other camp where I was procrastinating and pretending that I was just working smart. And it's interesting when you're trying to find that perfect sweet spot, the perfect spot for productivity, the graph looks a little bit like this, where the more you do, the more time you spend working, your productivity increases, but then it gets to a certain point where your productivity starts to decrease the more that you work. This is something that a lot of people in hustle culture don't understand. If it comes to giving up your sleep, it's not worth doing, at least not in the long run. Fine, in the short run, you've got a deadline, give up your sleep. If you continually do this, I can promise you that the output of your productivity will be less than if you slept more. It's not about being busy, it's about being productive, it's about getting output for your input. And this point, this optimal spot of productivity varies for absolutely everyone, and it's something you've got to find for yourself. It's kind of like you're playing Wii golf and you're trying to hit the ball and you've got to hit it just hard enough to make it go far enough, but not too hard, otherwise you're going to go awry and the ball's going to go to a place that you don't want to get to. When you don't know the limit of how far you can push before you get burned out, you've got to try and discover that, and it's a difficult process to do. And if you're trying to find that optimum sweet point for yourself, there's a couple of routes you can take. First of all is you can constantly push your limit until you find it. You can constantly be tracking the symptoms you're experiencing, your stress levels, whether you have bags under your eyes, the spots that you're getting, anything that may indicate that you're getting burned out, so that when you do get burned out, you can start to associate cause and effect. You can start to say, right, a couple of weeks before I fully got burned out, this was what's starting to happen to my body and to my mind. Therefore, I now know where the limit is, where I can be productive but not feel burned out. You can just ease it back a little bit. It's becoming aware of the point where your productivity starts to decrease as you work more, or you can trust it from someone who's been through this many a time and say, there are 4 different things you've got to take into account. First of all, you've got to be sleeping the amount that you need to. I promise you that this is worth it. Second of all, you should be taking around 1 day off a week. This is going to help you relax, recharge, and it's also going to help you come back at life with a fresh perspective. You should also be taking maybe around an hour per day as a day off, as a relaxation period. And also, every now and again, you can go on holiday to take a complete break from what you've been doing. That's going to help you stay productive, but not burn out. And once you've finished doing that, once you're working, once you're doing a lot of different things, we can move from phase 1 to the far more important phase 2. Imagine you've got a parked car and you try and turn the parked car around. It's going to be pretty difficult. What you've got to do is you've got to start moving and then you can turn the car. That's why we have phase 1 first. That's why you've got to start taking action, and then phase 2 is about turning that action towards a more useful point of view. So many people get caught up and they try and skip straight to phase 2. They try and go straight to what is the optimal use of my time? How can I efficiently use my time? What is the perfect business for me to go into? What is my purpose? What is my vision? It's impossible to skip from phase 1 to phase 2 because phase 1 gives you all of the data necessary to optimize in phase 2. Like I said, you can't turn a car unless you're moving, and by taking action, by trying a lot of different things, you're able to collect a lot of data which you can better use in phase 2. If I had sat there and thought, right, what is the best thing for me to do? I might not have chosen a YouTube channel, I might have chosen something else, but because I tried a lot of different things, I collected a lot of different data, which allowed me to best figure out what are the few things that I can be doing that really move the needle. Again, it's about productivity, not busyness. And the best way to be productive is to get more through less. Phase 2 is all about figuring out what is the best thing to do, and the best principle I have here is to do less things. The thing is, if I was still trying to do an Instagram, a Twitter, the YouTube channel, and blogging, I would not be making progress on any of those accounts because I wouldn't have enough mental bandwidth or time to really put in the work necessary to gather the skills necessary to grow that platform. That's why I'm different to other YouTubers. I don't have all these social media platforms, and I believe in the long run this is going to benefit me the most because it means I get to stay focused with you. I get to sit here in front of my camera and talk to you, to build a relationship with you, to understand the situation you're going through, and constantly think, how can I help you out? How can I constantly help you make progress? So in phase 2, it's about going through all of the different things that you've tried to really try and figure out which of these things provide the most leverage. Because now we're taking it back to leverage. Which of these activities require the least amount of inputs, your time and energy, but deliver the most amount of outputs, results you get in the real world? And again, phase 2 isn't a clear-cut process. You're going to be trying things and it's probably not the right thing to do, and you're going to iterate and improve over time. But at least you're taking action which is providing you with the data necessary to make changes based on data and not just opinions. Even if you're not into business and you're trying to find your life purpose, you've still got to go through these phases. You've just got to start moving before you can start optimizing. Because the thing is, you can be working super hard on the wrong things and you're not going to make progress. Whereas you can be working a little bit on the right things and make a whole lot of progress. So it's not necessarily about how hard you work, it's about what you work on. And something magical happens when you go through phase 2 properly, because you're going to reach a point where you have a model, whether that's a model for life and how you use your time, or a model for business and the activities that you're doing to try and grow your business. There's going to get to a time where you're going to start to understand exactly what you should be doing. You're going to know the exact activities that you need to be doing on a regular basis. And once you figure that out, it's a clear shifting point. Because you no longer have to ask yourself the question, what should I be doing? The only thing you've got to focus on is how to improve at the things that you're currently doing. And when you're in that mindset of trying to improve at the things you're currently doing, that's when you get to storm ahead of the competition, because constantly figuring out what should I be doing? Is this a new good idea? Should I be doing this instead of this? It's draining and it takes away from you getting better at the things that truly generate leverage. When you get rid of that, you can really start to level up at the few activities that generate results. I truly believe that there's an insane amount of power in elimination and simplification. But once you've done that, it leads us on to phase 3, which again is more important than phase 2. Now, when I bring up points about elimination and you should do less and you should stay focused on the few activities, the perfect counterexample that people always bring up is Elon Musk. But the difference with Elon Musk is Elon Musk already has a lot of leverage. He has a whole lot of money, he has a whole lot of brand recognition, he has a whole lot of talent that he's able to use, and talent is the main word there. Because whether Elon Musk works hard or not, it doesn't matter so much because he has 56,000 employees that are constantly working whether he's working or not. So I believe that who is actually far more important than what. Who you're working with is more important than what you're working on. If you have a great team of people, they're going to figure out what to work on. It's the importance of building culture. It's the importance of building a solid team. And it's something that I've really started to experience recently with time theory. There's now 4 great team members on our team, and it excites me more than ever because I recognize that my mission to help people use their time wisely, to remove distraction, to remove time wasting from the planet, it's getting more and more and more realistic when I surround myself with people who are great at what they do. Having a team of great people is more important than what, which is more important than the amount that you work. And having people on your team generates insane amount of leverage. It went from me being able to work 16 hours a day to now potentially the team of 4 being able to work 72 hours a day. That creates leverage more than ever, but not only that, there's interconnection between the people, the ideas that come up between people. So overall, to summarize, first of all, it's about working hard. It's about doing something. I believe that working hard is 100% a good idea, to a point until it starts getting unproductive. And once you've worked hard, you then have the data necessary to figure out what are the best activities to do. Then it's about elimination, finding the few things that truly generate results. And once you have that, once you have a system that works, whether it's in business or in life, then it's about building a team, because who is more important than what, and that's how you truly do great things. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.